Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
I was hoping to. I thought we were done.
You thought we were
forgot
only
we were
doing one?
recording 2 today.
We got to do 2 just because I'm going to Zany's. That'll be over by the time this drops.
Sure.
But, I don't come back because I have Sunday night show. There's a Sunday night show in Chicago.
Oh.
I'm doing all of the shows.
Wait, so you're doing
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at Rosemont, and Saturday, Sunday?
Saturday, Sunday downtown.
Who's the headliner that's doing it the reverse?
Sam Morrill?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's
Sam-
hilarious.
Is
He's
he?
from New York, yeah.
Okay.
He was in Joker.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
That's why he's getting more space on the Zany's website.
Possibly.
They're like,
He's very funny.
upcoming. It was him. And
Yeah.
I was like, am I even on this calendar? It's should have been in the Joker, except for nobody. I had a bunch of tweets at Marvel today because I'm not saying I wouldn't be in a DC comic book movie.
Right.
It's just I'd prefer to be in a Marvel. But whatever. So what were we talking about?
Wait.
10 minutes ago?
Oh, Ricky Gervais?
Yeah, did you want to keep talking about it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe not. Maybe I did it all. Kyle's having a headphone breakdown.
Oh my God, it lost its
Cracking
mind.
and-
It snapped. That looks like a $12 set of headphones. I can't believe it. Oh, $6. Oh, good. I'm glad. All right. You guys, we have a Patreon.
Buy Kyle some new headphones, please.
And Kilmartin's got the notebooks and
I do, and I mailed 7 of them in one day. I hope people, when you put out the call on Instagram, and then there was a bunch of orders, so it was nice to do them all in one day.
that was nice.
Yeah, because the standing in line at the post office is it's another thing to slot into my day.
Yeah.
and it's not easy. So
Right.
I try to wait for
I have a
for it to build up a little
Stamps.com,
bit.
account.
I don't understand how that works.
Well, they advertised one time in the Dork Forest, and they gave me 2 years free of Stamps.com, which is $12.99. Mm-hmm. And I just got an email from them saying, you get 1 more free year, then we're done. And I was like, okay,
Oh, that's cool.
I'll take it. And I am kind of addicted to it now, even though I feel bad for my mail carrier. And I would feel really bad for my mail carrier if I was mailing out 11.8 ounce notebooks, more than 2 of them.
Well, I mean, they park right. They can just walk it over there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not like we're
But
sending
if I'm
UPS
mailing
packages.
from my website, if I'm mailing more than
So you don't have to
3
go to the
items,
post office?
I go to the post office, but the postage is all paid. I just have to throw it in the bucket.
Oh. Well, I got into a fight with the postal because I did one batch where I mailed it Book and Media, right?
Yeah,
And
because it's Book and Media's.
oh, guess what? They're not.
No,
She starts flipping through the notebook. She's like, "There's no words on it." I said, "It's still a book." She's like, "No, it's not a book." So it was like the normal rate. It was pretty expensive.
yeah, that's why they're $30 each.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry, guys.
because
These fucking postal workers start flipping through the notebooks.
and you found like the one postal worker who gives a good goddamn.
Well, guess
And-
what? I'm going to go to another post office next time and see
Well,
if I can.
and just have them all do it automatically on the machine. We'll talk.
But
Or I can do it if you want. It's
manually entering in everyone's address,
Not-
it takes like 20 minutes per person. I have your addresses memorized in my head.
well, are you typing them out?
When you do it on the machine at the post office, you have to type out, like you type out the street, you type out 3 letters of the street, and they bring up the street.
Oh,
Then you
right.
type-
If you use the machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Or you stand there and wait for them to do it.
right. And then they start looking through stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
just saying, whatever.
I know what you're saying. It's that's why Stamps.com got kind of addictive for me because I just print it and it's
You
a
leave it on
drop-down
your front
menu.
porch?
I leave it in my front porch and the guy takes it.
Oh my
The woman
God.
takes it and then it's
Well,
over.
if we get an increase in sales, maybe we'll have to.
We could
invest
because
in that.
here's the thing about the stamps.com, you have to have it hooked up to a credit card, and it's hooked up to my credit card. It'd be okay if we could hook it up to our joint PayPal.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's possible. But we can
Our
look
joint
into it.
PayPal is hooked up to my credit card.
Right? But it's
What a fucking money laundering operation we're running here. I don't even know what's happening.
my father is proud of us, and just could not be happier. I have so I sold this week. I'm here. I'm the week that this goes up.
Right.
I am in LA
The week of the 20th.
the week of the 20th, just doing a boat ton of dork forests, including Leah Mansfield. I sent out a thing to find women veterans who did stand-up comedy. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And I got a bunch of them. And Leah Mansfield is a dork about nuclear weapons. And so she's going to do a dork forest about nukes.
That sounds like about the most terrifying podcast anyone could
It's going to
listen
be hilarious. I'm looking forward to learning all about how much she loves North Dakota. Did you know that if North Dakota was its own country, it'd be the second most powerful country in the world?
What are you talking about?
That's where all of our nukes are.
Oh, really?
They're in North Dakota.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know if you ever did that Yoda run.
I didn't.
There was a Hanson run there too. You do Fargo, North Dakota. You do Grand Forks.
I
and then
did
you
Grand
do
Forks.
Minot. You ever do Minot?
I think I did do Minot.
There's an Air Force base. There's Air Force bases at all of these places.
Yes.
Because there's silos.
Are you
all
saying
over the
I
place.
had sex with the men there? Why did you point that out to me?
Wow. Now I need to know. How's it going?
I did not.
You
It's
did not?
Going. I did. I did Grand Forks, and then mostly I did. The farthest east Tribble went was Miles City, Montana, which is on the border of Montana.
That's why
and
I
South
never did
Dakota.
tribbles. Because they were too far west, and that's why you didn't do Yoders, because
Yeah.
they were too far east.
We led
That's why
parallel lives.
Parallel lives. We never met.
we were in neighboring Dakotas, perhaps.
We were. Oh man, there was a gig in South Dakota that it was one of those dance floor shows where you stood the dance floor.
Yeah.
All the mics faced you.
Yeah.
But the audience was seated around the dance floor.
Right.
Like the mic was a bad idea, and I should have just been yelling to people.
I worked many a Misty's Lounge in a Holiday Inn. And when I
Were
was
they
at
called Misty? I saw
yes,
something.
it was always Misty's. And then I was at
Misty.
when I was at the Ontario Anime Convention at
Yep.
the DoubleTree Hotel. They had a Misty's Lounge, and I was like, "Oh my god, the memories!" No comedy though.
No comedy.
Yeah,
You ever look at a room and just go, "This needs comedy"?
no, not even when I am in a comedy club do I think it needs comedy. And then there used to be. So you never worked like little towns in Nevada, right? You never
No.
did those one-nighters.
No.
There were. This is a
Not
common.
until I moved here.
A common setup at a Tribble run in Nevada is Winnemucca, Elko, Jackpot. The list
yeah,
goes on, and I can't
Rontowski.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the stage is in a corner. All right. So you're standing on like a slice,
A triangle
pie slice,
kind of.
right?
Yeah.
And then right in front of you is a bartender and a bar. Where there's a bartender, and then there's the bar.
Right. It stretches out.
Right.
Yep.
So then then there's right in front of the bar, on the bar are slot machines.
Yep.
Then there's a row of alcoholics sitting at the bar playing slot machines.
Right. Career
Now
drunks.
behind these 4 or 5 layers of distraction is potentially the audience.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
I've
classic
done-
Nevada Tribble run.
I
gig.
have done many gigs like that. Those are available. Those are still, people are still booking those. Did you ever do Oroville?
Yes.
The casino in Oroville?
Yeah.
That was set up like that.
Who booked that?
That was that guy out of North Carolina who does some NACA stuff.
Chuck Summit from
Chuck
yeah.
at Summit.
Yes.
Chuck at Summit, and probably still does, had the best way of getting avails from people.
What
He
was
would
it?
send a list. You got on his email list.
Mm-hmm.
He would send a list of gigs that he had, and then first come first serve if you fill the slot and you hadn't already worked it recently. And
Do you think it really was first come first serve?
there was probably some massaging.
There
of
were
like,
some serves.
right, like some serves, because I didn't work for him that often, but I know
Yeah.
that whenever I did, I'm sure I wasn't the first one who responded, but he was
Right.
like, you haven't worked in so long.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop you to the
Why
top.
am I off his email list?
I'm off his email list too because I haven't responded to him in 6 years. Probably.
Is it maybe he has mostly Southern gigs or something?
Well, they're spread the hell and gone all over the place.
Right.
Like Keith Barony, he has those weird gigs that are like one's in like just north of Denver in the state above Denver.
Yeah.
Wow, it's just going to get
above
punchier, you guys.
Colorado?
Is it Wyoming or is it Montana?
Oh, Wyoming's a good guess.
It's
no,
Wyoming.
it's not. Montana's on the border of Canada and the U.S.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Wyoming's
it was
good.
I did a country club, and it was one of the most awkward country club. When you come in, and it's not a corporate, it's not a private, it's just a small town, and the only people who could afford comedy is the country club. So you go in, and it's the town doctor and the town lawyer and the town moonshine runner, and and it's just a pile of people getting super hammered and not knowing what they're seeing.
You know what? I'm bummed. I'm bummed we're not Jewish because there's a lot
We
of
could have
like
been. I could have been. My father sleeps around. It's a matriarch.
there's a lot of like temple gigs and stuff. Like Corey Kahaney does a lot of stuff like that.
Corey
I'm
Kahaney
like,
gets steady
oh.
work on that.
Yeah,
That's some
those
pretty
side gigs. Judy Gold, I think, too, a little bit.
Well, my
Ugh.
sister
You
has
know,
been
the
trying to
Catholic
get
Church
me
doesn't
in.
have those side gigs for us.
My sister has converted to Judaism, and she
That
is-
means my sister's Jewish.
Exactly. Your sister Darlocation. She could get us in. She's been trying to get me into some of these gigs. And I was just like, well, I mean, what about Ophira? And I'm suggesting like great women comics who happen to be Jewish, and which of course is throwing money away, which is just dumb. But because it's a temple
Ophira's
doesn't
great,
mean
but take that money.
take the gig because they will enjoy.
Yeah.
It's like, for a couple of years, I was doing this really cool thing where I was doing anime conventions. I did Akon.
Oh,
And I did
Yeah.
The Convergence in Minneapolis. I did several different conventions. And then I would go down to Comic-Con when I chose to drive 3 hours twice in a day and hang out with 100,000 people.
you always have my Saturday night at Comic-Con if you want it.
Right. But I don't,
You don't want to.
no, I don't, I want to, yeah, maybe.
We're going back again this year. Usually we do our last show Saturday afternoon, the
Right.
live Conan shows, and
Right.
then you could stay over.
and maybe I
or-
could do, what I could
But
tell.
here's the thing: I have a hotel Saturday night, and I never use it. I usually get on the train and go right back at that point. And
Right.
someone used it a couple years ago, and
So maybe I'll because every year I get offered panels and stand-up sets,
well,
and
there's
I
not
don't
a
know if
lot
there's
of-
a lot going on Saturdays.
no on Sunday. I mean Saturday. Yeah, you could just throw your stuff on my place, and then I'd be out of there. So yeah,
Well, no, like if I came down Saturday morning,
right.
did all the things,
Yes.
and then just crashed there,
Yes, exactly.
and then came home on Sunday, or
Yeah.
went to it one last time, and
Yeah.
then came home on Sunday. So yeah, that's actually a pretty good plan. Teamwork.
Yeah.
All
This
right.
offer is available to nobody else. Sorry, listeners.
We're organizing. We're figuring some stuff out, you guys.
I didn't know
And-
we were doing two in a row. I would have saved my hot Ricky Gervais takes for the next pod.
Well, I heard Sasha Cohen did something.
Oh, that was that's the thing. Such a fucking great joke.
I didn't
And he
see
just
it. What is
delivered
it?
He just dropped a diamond into, or dropped a rock. Whatever. I don't even have a
It was-
metaphor
it was a
anymore. It's
beautiful
fucking
joke?
brilliant. He goes. He's introducing.
Where was it?
It's at the Golden Globes.
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
Okay.
But you don't watch clips
No, I don't. No,
on the internet, online, anything?
I should. I can now. I'm gonna now. Yep.
Why, you just got YouTube?
I just got the internet. It's great. The second half of the internet is really dirty. I don't know if you've read it.
Okay, so he's introducing Jojo Rabbit, right?
Okay.
Have you seen Jojo Rabbit?
No.
I'll give you my screener. It's so
Okay,
great.
good.
It's so great.
Okay.
Okay.
Andy saw it. He said it was great.
You did. Okay.
Yeah. So Sasha Cohen.
No, I'm just thinking, should I say that I gave you my screener? I'm not going to give you my screener. That's illegal. Okay.
Right. Maybe I'll come over to your house and stand behind you.
No, that's not legal either. I'm
Okay.
sorry. You'll have to pay in the theater.
Okay.
So, anyway,
yes.
so. I don't know what I was thinking. Guys, I usually don't default to a felony.
I get screeners.
Oh, you do?
I probably have it somewhere.
Okay. All right.
There's a stack of mail I haven't looked at for 2 months, and it's probably
it's in there.
screeners.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. So, so he goes, all right, so it's a movie about, a boy who has a lot of imaginary friends and spews Nazi propaganda, and the boy's name is Mark Zuckerberg. And then he goes, I'm sorry, that was an old intro to The Social Network. It's Jojo Rabbit. And he says it way better. And it's perfect. And he didn't get online afterwards. The right wing's mad at me now. Oh,
right.
Like he just dropped this perfect joke and then he walked away. That was lovely. That's all you have to do. Just all you have to fucking do.
Do the bit and
Tell
and
a
then,
fucking great joke and get the fuck out.
And then anyone who's mad at it can talk amongst themselves.
Yeah.
And everyone who's psyched about it can also talk amongst themselves.
You have to stir things up, rake the leaves, start little fires here and there.
Right. So, that is a great joke.
Yeah.
And
you should watch it online.
Did you see Mark Hamill quit Facebook today?
I did. I told him. Of course, he didn't respond. That he's more than likely to meet me on. He can meet me on Twitter if he wants to.
Okay, I got to
Maybe
meet
he'll
him one time.
reply.
I got to meet him one time.
What?
I got to meet him one time.
You
I got a
did?
picture with him.
Yeah.
And it was the only time I've ever asked for a picture. With
Can you
someone
imagine
famous,
being
I
that
think.
guy? Just being it's got to be weird to have nonstop positive attention directed your way all the time, every time you leave the house.
Except for I think he's been getting some guff, because
He's political.
because he's a grown up man, right? He's also a human, and he did the voice of the Joker on the animated Batman series that was critically acclaimed for years. He's one of the best. I mean, that's with a certain group of people.
Yeah,
that's how they learned who he was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like people our age, it's all Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. It's the Joker. And so it is a weird life, though. I bet you he's enjoying
When
it.
he walked out, he was like he did a surprise cameo on Conan
Nice.
last time we were at Comic-Con. And the level of joy and noise from the audience, it was like, I was like, oh, this isn't good. Like, you have to work overtime to maintain being normal when you're getting that sort of feedback,
that sort
from
of
people.
adoration.
Yeah, and so it's not healthy. And he seems like he's figured out a way to deal with it really
Right, because
well.
it's 40 years of this now.
But Jesus, it's just not a right way to live.
Well,
you know?
it's the whole idea of fame entirely,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was this is comparable. I checked into my hotel and the guy pronounced my name right because he was a fan.
Oh,
It's the exact same thing. And I'm learning to deal with it now. That sort of adoration. And but I've never. Would you want to be that famous?
I did when I first started stand up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
were
wanted
like-
everything.
you were-
Jackie, I was on track to be America's sweetheart. I don't
Were
know if
you?
you
Did you want to be
realize that.
America's sweetheart?
I did.
Oh, that's
With
fun.
my then boyfriend, who was also a comic. I'm like, oh, we'll get married. We'll be America's sweetheart on the cover of TV Guide. It was so awful. It's cringeworthy.
Right, but also adorable because
Anyway,
yeah,
but now I would like, what level of fame? Maybe like, I don't think, maybe even Marin has too much fame now. Like there's people that are really into him and they know his life, and maybe even that's weird on stage when everyone's seen your stuff and they know everything. It's hard to reveal things. I mean, comedy is about surprising the audience, and part of what's fun, if they don't really know who you are, maybe they know a little bit, is they find out who you are on stage. They
Right.
find out your persona. They find out weird things that you think are okay and things you don't think are okay, and they don't know that about you beforehand. And that's
Right.
what's fun. And maybe that level of fame kind of ruins it a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to go get a cup of coffee just and be alone.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm a social animal. I like people,
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily.
I like them from afar.
Right. Well, I like to meet people, and I don't even mind. Like, someone asked me if I would have coffee with them in Chicago. One of our listeners, and I was like, yeah, I need to have coffee, and you seem nice enough. I'll have coffee. I
wouldn't be able to. I would be like, I brought a robe for a reason.
Right.
I am going to be in my robe all day long.
You're very busy. You've got an agenda many days. You have some swimming to do. You've got some hot yoga that you're going to try to get into.
to clean up.
Well, here at the house it's different, but
yeah.
But I think on the road,
yeah. And then I just have my brain to turn off and not to be obligated to anyone till showtime.
And especially and sometimes there's press.
Right.
And, in Minneapolis, I have a hard time hanging out with fans just because I have so much family there and old friends, like my old roommate from college and a bunch of old friends and stuff. So I don't really have the time to do it. But I don't mind it. One time in Austin, Texas, I met with like 4 or 5 fans of the Dork Forest.
Oh, nice.
We all went out, had a nice cup of coffee.
Oh, that's cool.
And just kind of chatted. Mm-hmm. It was actually really fun. And I would rather do that than I don't mind the meet and greet after the shows and the merch sales, but that feels like work.
Yeah.
Hanging out with somebody at coffee where we're all just sort of chilling, it's sort of like comedy brunch, right? Then you're just hanging out, telling people about their lives.
Let me tell you what I did. That was so satisfying.
What?
So I was in New York for like 4 or 5 days, right?
Wow,
early
long.
January.
Nice.
And I thought I should call a couple of my friends and organize lunch because I never see these ladies.
Look at this social experiment.
But guess what?
What?
Then I said, should I?
What?
And then I was like, let's walk through whenever I have something to do, like in New York, right? I don't like leaving the apartment. I like being on the bed. Now, did I tell you it's 3 mattresses high now?
No, why?
Oh,
Why?
okay.
What are you, the princess of the pea? What's happening?
Exactly. So,
What is happening?
the thing is I didn't call anyone, and I was so glad all week. I'm like, I could be getting ready to go to brunch right now, and instead I'm in my robe. And I'm on Twitter.
Right. But the thing is this was the first time you were had like 5 days, right?
In a long time.
In a long time.
Yeah.
Which I think if you spent more time there.
Sure. Totally.
Nah, you wouldn't. Because you spent time
No,
here.
I like to say I would.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I got a text message today asking to go to lunch.
by.
Well, I was in the sky. I couldn't.
Okay.
It was like Augie.
Oh, okay.
And a bunch of Andy Wood
Yeah.
and a bunch of comics and
That's something that's been done. Once you do it before, you've done it. You're just replicating it now. It seems a little bit easier. It's going to be casual. So okay, so I've had this mattress that's incredibly firm for years, but I'm never back long enough to really do anything about it. I'm always like, oh, I'll just be uncomfortable.
Is it too firm?
It's way too firm.
Oh, okay.
Way too firm. And I put lots
A
of
Spartan experience.
Yes, I put things on top of it. I tried every trick in the book, and it was just it's too firm. And so this time I had a nice window, so I ordered a mattress, and it came within the window that I was back. But it came on Saturday. And then I had to go. Then I went to a play, and I had 8 spots, and I'm leaving on Sunday, right? So I don't have time to
really set it up.
No, call the super to get the old mattress.
Oh,
and I'm like, am I going to like this mattress?
I thought you were keeping the. Okay.
No, here's the thing. So I have like a box spring and the firm mattress.
Okay.
And then I get this other one. It's a Casper, and you have like 30 days to return it.
Sure.
So I'm like, I'll sleep on it tonight, Saturday night. And then when I go back on the 18th, I'll have 2 more nights on it, or whatever, a night and a half. And I'll give it the audition. And if I don't like it, then I can return it. But there's no place to put the firm mattress. So I just put the Casper on top of the firm. And it's already on a kind of a high bed frame.
Yeah.
So it's like I need a step ladder to get onto the bed. It's fucking awesome. I love it.
Oh, do you like being up high?
I love it.
All right.
It was only 24 hours. And you walk into the room.
Do you have railings so you don't roll off?
No,
it?
but I don't flop around.
Okay.
But I walk into the bedroom, and it's like it's all bed.
Right.
And it's really big. And it's a lot when you're in it, like when you're walking in it, but then when you sit on it and you're just like, I'm looking out the window from my high bed.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you get to
seen it,
see
right?
out your I've seen your room, and you like to stare out that window.
Yes, there's people walking and doing pull-ups on
I
the
swear
lights.
to God,
and-
you were a cat in a different life. You were just a cat staring out the window.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back and see. So I think I'll keep the Casper. I remember liking it. And now it's like, do I keep this setup?
Yeah.
Because I do. If I don't, I have to, get the super to come, and then it's on the weekends, and I don't want to bug them on the weekend and move my mattress out, So I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it for like a couple weekends.
Yeah, and the thing is,
couple months, and
right, you can figure it out as you go. You might like it. Is it softer?
I like it.
Is it
Oh,
softer?
it's nice. Yeah.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah. But I would love to get like I'd have to get like a fitted sheet that was 30 inches deep to cover all three mattresses.
Right. Or just cover one of them and then get the biggest of all blankets.
Oh, that's another thing I did.
Mm-hmm.
I got a like if you have a queen size bed, you get a queen size cover, right?
Right.
But then it's never enough, I got a king size cover.
Yeah.
It's enough. It's like having a weighted blanket.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Oh,
So Retta did the Dork Forest.
I fucking nailed this cozy shit.
Yeah, you got
hard this year.
We have a full size mattress, Andy and I.
Yeah,
and
for both of you.
Yes,
that's not enough mattress.
Retta
it needs
lost
to be bigger.
Her shit. She walked in. She was like, "You're kidding me. The
It's
two
not.
of you are on that bed."
No.
And I was like, "Yeah, what? The house isn't that big." And
would a king fit in there?
No. Well, I mean, I think just
that's enough. It's that's where you sleep. Are you guys waking each other up all the time?
Never. Yeah. So, but I did. She had the same opinion that it was too.
Yeah,
that was too small. Hey, let's do a Max Fun break.
Nearly 2 decades ago, Commander Data sacrificed his life.
The Greatest Discovery is also about Star Trek Picard.
Jesse Thorne won't let us stay on the network unless we do all the Star Trek series, and so here we are, doing a show about maybe our favorite Star Trek character of all time.
If you're excited to watch the new Star Trek Picard series and you'd like some veteran Star Trek podcasters to watch it along with, we're your guys. Sorry you're stuck with us.
The hell are you doing out here, Picard? Saving the galaxy?
So subscribe to The Greatest Discovery. You can find it anywhere you find podcasts.
Or at MaximumFun.org.
And Comic of the Week, I say.
What time is it? 27. Yeah.
27?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the hilarious Suzanne Westenhoefer.
Westenhoefer.
I thought we did her a long time ago.
I thought we did her a long time ago. That's
shocking.
Why the Sarah Rosinski, that list is amazing.
Yeah.
Because you're like glaringly obvious. And then some of those people on the list have blown the fuck up. So the bump is real, you guys. So
not for us, but for you guys.
Westenhoefer. Yeah, our names aren't even on there.
Yeah.
On that poster that she made. It's just your first name and my first name.
Yeah.
So it's SZ West.
Oh, yeah.
It's S as in Sarah, Z as in Z, West as in West, and then the number 1.
One of the early out comics, and paid a price.
Yeah.
Paid a price of being marginalized a bit out of clubs and stuff like that.
And not getting the work.
Not getting the same work. Had she just changed her pronouns a little bit in her stories and stuff like that, So you got to give love to
Props
those
to that.
early comics that took the heat, so that a lot of gay comics now,
Can be out.
are working regularly, I hope. But she's super funny and nice, and she's still working, and she's a great lady, Suzanne Westenhoefer.
Do it. All right. So next week, I am going to be in Indianapolis at their new Helium with Maria Bamford.
Okay.
And I should have, Maria's doing the Never Say No Without a Number. Her new special is coming out this month.
Oh yeah.
On Amazon and
yeah.
all the
I saw
places,
the promo for it.
Yeah, she's getting
Weakness of the
write-ups.
it's great. What
The
the
New Yorker?
promo is a great is a great joke.
Oh, the trailer.
Yeah, little trailer. It's funny. It's great.
Yeah, the trailer. They cut the trailer really nice, and then
Where'd she tape it?
Here somewhere.
Okay.
It's it burns every time you mention it because I didn't open for her.
I'm
no,
sorry.
It actually, I'm unmoved. But
You're not, because you mention that every time.
I do mention it every
Yes.
time because it makes me laugh.
It doesn't make you laugh.
It
doesn't. It's a forced laugh.
I was working.
Okay.
Yeah. And but she does a joke about my dad.
Oh yeah.
And she mentions one of his sayings. And now that it's a special, I have gone back to doing my joke about that same thing that he says.
Yeah.
And she's I have to give her she was like, "Hey, can I buy one of those t-shirts of your dad's sayings?" And I was like, "Yeah, you get one of those for free." And I said, because she has all of my merch.
Yeah.
And I have a picture of her in all of my merch, and it's all over my merch page. And she's the famous person that we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's very supportive, and she doesn't have to give me $20. She's going to be
Charge her $200. Come on. You know
Come
how
on.
wealthy she is.
not any. Just doing all right. I was trying to explain to somebody yeah, there was something about being rich the other day. Someone was talking about rich people liking something and how fuck. This is a great story that I can't remember. Anyway,
Was it comedy
punchy.
related?
It was comedy related. No, it's gone. Guys, keep listening. Maybe I'll remember 7 episodes from now. It'll be a great story.
Wow. That's a way to really get people to come back. Start a story, then go, let me just double check this one. Mm-hmm. Next episode.
That'd be something.
Yeah, I listened to, Pete Dominic.
I know the name.
He's a comic, and he had a show on Sirius called Stand Up with Pete Dominic, I think. It was a daily show, and he was on Sirius for 14 years, and he had guests on, talks about super smart, politics, pop culture, everything, everything. And they canceled the show like maybe a month ago.
Okay.
After 14 years.
14 years.
Which is a long time to have a radio show.
Yeah.
It's like an incredible run.
Yeah.
But he immediately started podcasting, and I hadn't listened to it, but I don't know, somehow I follow him on Twitter, and he was talking about how he's talking about the depression of job loss with and how he's kind of being open about it on his podcast. And I listened to, he did one with Henry Winkler that's really good, and Henry Winkler's like really encouraging him and stuff like
that's
that.
Neat.
And then he did one with Lisa Lampanelli.
Yeah.
Lisa,
and this is current?
Yes.
Like in the last year? Or?
Yeah, no, like a month ago.
Oh, wow.
So she quit stand-up.
Right. She's doing motivational now, right?
I think she's not. I think she stopped that too. I think she didn't care for the one-on-one client meetings or something.
That's where the money is.
But it was a fascinating, like, first of all, it was good to hear voices from the aughts. Like, I love meeting new comics. But sometimes I'm like, where are the people like when I was in New York, where are all the people I ran around with, some of them are dead. And then to hear Lisa and Pete talking, I was like, it was just, I felt like I'd been transported back in time a little bit.
I know. Whenever I hang out with all those guys from the 90s, and they're almost all guys.
Yeah.
Not all of them. Darlene Westgore. Last time I was in Minneapolis, I meant to call her.
Yeah.
But I got sucked into a whirlwind of family stuff. So, but yeah, I just love hanging out with, I think about those road trips. Darlene and I took a couple of road trips doing stand up in northern Minnesota and then down to Oklahoma. And they were always so fun, into Wisconsin, just laughing. And then we would just split all of the money. Right? The headliner money, the feature money. It would be some lame, $350 for the whole show.
Oh my God.
And we would split it, but we'd each get our own room.
Yeah.
And then then we would both, we'd just switch off closing and
No, that's
and
fun.
and
She
split the
won-
time.
She won America's Funniest
Mom on
Nick,
VH1.
No, Nick at Night.
Nick at Night. That's it. Nick at Night.
Believe me, I know, because I wrote on the next season of America's
season 2.
Funniest Mom. It was called America's Funniest Mom Season 2. And I think it was like it was like a title with 17 different owners, Nickelodeon's America's Funniest Mom, whatever. It was just like too much happening, and legally you had to say it that way or something. It was awful. But she had won the previous year, and I didn't know her, but she was really funny, and that's.
Is that where you met her? On that show?
I think I met her maybe
I think they
because she
brought
was
her
like
back.
the returning champion.
Yeah.
And then there was like some funny women on that show this season too, and then there were people that were picked by
Cast?
Nickelodeon executives who didn't know anything about stand-up comedy, but thought that person would be a great person to build a show around. That's when I got pregnant. I feel like my uterus is like, you could be funnier than these moms.
You're about to become America's funniest mom.
Yeah.
And you did. And you were. And
so Lisa retired from stand up, and now that's just I
don't know what
to make of that.
I'll tell you what to
Like-
make of it. It's a bad idea.
Well,
for me.
No, it is, because and plus I felt like this last week I had retired from stand up because I was
Right.
off.
Well,
for
every
5
time you
nights.
don't do 3 nights in a row, you're just like, I take it, it's over.
I do, because
I'm a greader now at Walmart.
one day
at
I'll
night.
be right. One day I'll be right.
Don't be right.
But she and Pete had asked her if it was because of the way you talk that's just not going to work anymore. And she
That
said
whole
no.
the sensitive.
I think her audience would
culture?
be okay with it. Totally.
Yeah, she could ride that as
It
all the
actually would
way-
help her.
Right. She could be that person.
But I don't think she wants to do it anymore.
Right.
And she's been through a lot. Like she had weight loss surgery and she regrets it. I guess her stomach is so small she can barely eat anything now. And
Oh, wow.
like she wouldn't do it again if she had. She's probably gotten in the weeds on it in other podcasts or something. But she goes, I just wake up and I do what I feel like doing, and it's so unstructured. And I don't know how she's doing it because she's a super highly structured. I remember her at the Comedy Cellar sitting. Well, everyone was making fun of her. The guys were. She'd sit in a different area. She wouldn't sit at the table. No one could follow her. She would crush so hard, you couldn't follow her. She would sit there, and she had comedy interns, basically comics that would go on the road with her, and she'd make them do everything for her. But they would sit there and they would take comment cards and add to her email list, and people weren't doing that back then. And she just worked super, super hard. She was like a road comic, and then she kind of found that persona and switched over to that, and then fucking dove in on that. And
Right. And was a kind of a marketing genius.
definitely.
I mean, it's that
Amazing.
There's so many jobs to this job.
Yeah.
That I remember in the 80s and 90s making fun of those people, the marketing genius types. And now we all have to have a little bit of that.
I know.
It's very irritating.
It is, but it's
But I'm
just so
unwilling
strange.
to-
I don't know how she's gonna sustain that. She has the money. She doesn't need to work again monetarily. That's amazing.
She bought land or something?
She
Must have done
I guess
something
she's
right.
selling a house for $2 million that she bought a while ago, and she just made a shitload of money. She's
Right.
like Maria, like
And
where she could show up, bring in tens of thousands of dollars for one appearance.
Janine Garofalo told me that she invested wisely.
Oh, you told me that about
Yeah,
Janine
that's because
Garofalo.
Janine Garofalo told me that. And I
Yeah.
tell everybody that Janine Garofalo was really smart with money back in the late 90s. Wow. And
That's not her persona, by the way.
right.
Smart with money.
Right. That's
Yeah.
I wouldn't have called that.
Yeah.
That would not have been
Her persona is what is money.
her persona. Her persona is I brought a stack of money onto the stage and I'm going to read
I
aloud
wrote notes
the
off
numbers.
on
I'm
it.
just going to write notes on it. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
She's
but
only
what are you
4
gonna
years
do?
older than us, Lisa.
Yeah.
She's 58. Yeah.
So what? I mean, so she's retired.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. And then I started thinking, well, what
Next year we can start getting the discounts,
Oh God. Not me, Jackie. I'll look too young. They won't give me the discounts.
That's my old
But
Elliot
it made me
joke.
think, like, what am I doing comedy for? Am I still doing comedy because I'm mad that I feel like I didn't get the recognition I feel I deserve? So that's why I'm not gonna let.
Are you still doing it for the props or the
Just
cred
the,
or
just
something?
the hey man, I wanted what these people have. I started at the same time they did. How come I don't have that? Right?
Okay.
So is that why I'm doing comedy,
Does
or
that-
is it hey, I have this new chunk I'm working. These 2 new chunks, I want them out there. I enjoy that part.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just made me wonder. Like,
It could be all of it.
She seems to have had enough, and I don't know any comic who's had enough. But Lisa Lampanelli had enough, which is fucking bizarre.
Right, but I think that did she have enough of stand-up comedy,
Yeah,
or did she have enough of all of it?
I don't know. See that?
Because the thing
don't
is
know.
I think you could hit a wall where you're like, I'm not going to act, I'm not going to write, I'm not going to paint, I'm not going to do stand-up. I've had enough of putting my creative energy out there.
Hustling.
And
Enough of hustling.
and whether you stop doing it because you've had enough because you're mad at the lack of recognition, or if you've had enough because you think that you're not producing anything that you want to put out there, right? I mean,
Right.
there's plateaus that I've gone through where I haven't liked anything, I haven't written anything,
Right.
Like when you're just treading water, you're
Right.
doing the same material you've been doing for a year and a half, and it's tightening up, but you don't have new premises, you don't have new chunks, and I could see if that lasted longer than it has ever lasted in my life, becoming very, very frustrated, depressed, angry, all of the things.
I think she had a show off Broadway that was like a one-woman
I remember that.
autobiographical thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's strange to be done with performing.
Yeah. Can I have your water?
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
You drank all yours?
Yeah, I drank
Wow.
one. I've been flying all day, and so I think I'm dehydrated.
You're parched.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for pouring it. Now I can still enjoy my water.
Now you
I forgot
could.
about
We
it.
split it, huh? Come on. Sharing. Should we take another Max Fun break while we enjoy this beverage?
We interrupt the podcast you're listening to tell you about another podcast. That's right, We Got This with Mark and Hal.
That's correct, Mark. This is Hal. We do the hard work for you, settling all of the meaningless arguments you have with your friends.
So tune in every week on the Maximum Fun Network for We Got This with Mark and Hal, and all your questions will be asked and answered.
You're welcome. All right, that's enough of that.
We got this.
And we're back.
And where are we at, Kyle? 42, another 20.
All right.
Well, so my next, so I've got.
Do you know anyone else that's retired on purpose, as opposed to being just gotten like fuck it, walked away, and you realized, oh, they haven't done comedy. I haven't seen that person in 10 years.
I don't. I don't, when I don't see people, LA is weird because you'll run into people that I haven't seen in 10 years. I'm like, are you still doing stand up? They're like, sort of. Do you know this person? Do you know any of these people? As I write down a bunch of names. Do you know either of them?
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
But I don't think she's doing stand up
No,
anymore.
I don't think
You
I
don't
know her. She's not.
She's
Yeah.
not. She walked away.
She did.
So I guess if she's not,
Well, is that a walk away, or is that a I couldn't get spots, and
Couldn't get
then
the
I
work?
just got busy with other things, and then I haven't done stand up in 5 years.
yeah, I don't. I saw because Lisa Lampanelli literally she cut the cord.
Yeah,
She walked off stage and said, "I am done."
basically, yeah.
Okay, that I don't know anyone who's done that.
I don't either.
But I mean, if it has been done, it can be done. I don't want to do it.
I don't either, but I'm just trying to figure out why I don't, because you and I have been doing it comedy almost about the same amount of time she has. Probably the same amount because she had a corporate career first. So she might have actually been doing it less time than us.
I think she's been doing it a lot less time than us.
And well, I don't know.
I think she started like 95.
Maybe. She was like a road comic, just like a regular road comic. When I met her, like in 99 or 2000.
Right. I think she started in 95.
Maybe. Okay.
So I think we've been doing it easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's, and you can also tell there is, and this is judgmental, take it, leave it, everybody out there, it is cumulative, right? If you do stand-up comedy every day or every year, every month, for 5 years, you get more out of it than someone who does it twice a month for 5 years.
Yes.
Right? And if you're someone who does it 4 times a month for 20 years, and there's someone who does it 4 times a month for 10 years, you're still going to be better than them. Or different or further along, in my opinion.
Right.
So I think that time does matter. I mean, there are people that are good right out of the gate, right? And there are people that kind of get really good, are given a lot right away and burn out and then step away.
Right.
This guy, who by the way is sober.
Yeah.
Oh,
he is.
Yeah, like
Okay.
3 or 4 months.
Oh.
So he's given it a shot. And but he was really, really funny from a very young age.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he blew up pretty fast.
Yeah.
And then burned out pretty quick on just because I think of the partying.
Yeah.
You can get, especially if like I started when I was 19.
Yeah.
And the draw of free beer really screwed with my delivery, and I had to make a hard, fast rule that I would not drink before I went on stage. And I broke that rule a couple of times, and they weren't good shows. But I will say this, is that they weren't bad shows.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember them. So I did not care how those shows went.
Yeah.
And nobody ever said anything about them. So
Do you know who Elizabeth Wurtzel is?
I know that
She's
name.
a writer.
Okay.
And she just died.
Uh-oh.
She was 52.
Oof.
And she wrote Prozac Nation.
Okay.
Which is like
remembered that
the
book.
first female, like wrist slit wide open memoir about a female life, a young female life. And she
Okay.
got fucking trash. Like, who are you? You're 25, writing, she's writing about addiction and Prozac and stuff. And she just kind of lived like a female comic in a way where
Yeah.
she didn't really put down a lot of female comics. She didn't put down roots in that. She didn't get married. She didn't own a house. She didn't have kids. So she didn't have like the guide, the age appropriate sort of guideposts that as you march through life, right?
Right, that we were all raised
Yes.
with some sort of expectation.
Yeah. Like I feel like a lot of female comics are going that direction where they're, openly saying I'm not having kids, and that's
Right.
Yeah, totally fine.
Yeah.
Couldn't recommend it more.
Well, right. The choice. Nobody ever asked me if I wanted kids it was assumed that I would want them.
Sure.
And so, she, when she was 25.
So she just sort of kind of kept being 25 years old. And like she wrote this, she wrote some really great essays about it, about like when she was 45, how she still is leading the life that she led when she's 25. And, it's fun in a way, but then it's like she didn't have health insurance or she had shitty health insurance or something where when she's fighting breast cancer, she's going through the nightmare of fighting with the insurance, and her landlord raised her rent 25%. And it's like, whoa, you still have to worry about that. And then it's like, you didn't buy anything with your Prozac Nation money. You didn't buy a fucking studio apartment that you could keep safe in for the rest of your life.
Right.
It hurts, but I didn't read. I don't think I've read any of her books, but I've read her essays, and she's a really great writer. And people recommended not to start with Prozac Nation. Read Bitch, which came out recently. It's a little more updated, and but it was really shocking that she died.
Yeah,
you know,
what did she die of? Lack of insurance?
Well, she had very aggressive breast cancer.
Okay,
so I think she had a round where she beat it maybe, or did well, and then it came back again.
Yeah, that is so hard.
Yeah, it just was like, there's people where you want to see how it ends up when they're 80. Like I want to know. I would love to have known. Could you live the life of a 25-year-old when you're 65, when you're 75? Like when I'm not going to, but I would love, I liked tracking her and seeing what she was up to.
Well, the thing about partying like that hard is you last as long as you last, right?
Well, it's not all partying though. It's also just not having a mortgage, not having IRAs, not putting your money away, not thinking about not that the mindset you have when you're 25 that I'm going to live forever.
You're talking
mindset.
about me. Here's when it happened.
Married, you own a house.
This is what happened.
What?
I got married and I own a house. I was sweat equity with Andy Ashcraft when he bought that house. I moved in with him, and then we got married, and now I own half a house. But here's the scoop: is I did not have insurance. I had a 1989 car. I had he is you. He's like, what are you doing? You need a reliable vehicle to go on the road.
Right.
You need I'm going to buy a house. Do you want to live with me? And now do you want to marry me? And now you won't have a house. And he would always say jokingly, you're my backup plan. You're going to make a shit ton of money. And so the first 8 years that we were together, he paid the bulk of everything. And so I took all of my bills because we were splitting most bills and he was paying extra on stuff like the mortgage and stuff like that. And I would take 10% of every check, 10% of $100. 10% of $50, and I would put it in a savings account. And after that first year, I had $4,000. I hadn't had $4,000, and remember, I was 39 years old.
Wow,
I hadn't had $4,000 since I went to Europe in 1989.
Wow.
So, it was. That's what you're talking about. I remember when I went with Felicia Michaels and Alicia Cooper and Vargas Mason to Africa. Vargas gets hurt day 1. So he gets sent back day 3.
Knee problem.
Yeah,
right?
the knee thing, right?
God.
So
sounded awful.
He is like, are you guys willing to keep doing this tour? Because none of us get paid unless you do the tour. And so we're like, yeah, we would love to do the tour. And then I said, well, I think he should still get his cut. And Alicia and Felicia said, yeah, totally. And I said, what do you guys think about us giving him our money too? And they were like, no fucking way.
What?
They said, you have a husband who has a job. This is it. This is entirely what we're working with financially for this month. And it was a 3-week run, you know?
Yeah.
So that was the whole month's income.
Right.
And it was a Armed Forces entertainment money, so it wasn't great money.
Right.
Even. It was okay, but you don't do those gigs for the money. I mean, Bob Hope did, but that's about it, right? So, but I mean, it's a different experience. But yeah, at 39, I didn't, and I was like, we don't need insurance. We're healthy. And he's like, oh my God, we need insurance. And it's not like, and I can say that I was raised to think that I should, when you get a giant bag of money, you buy land. But I got a giant bag of money in 2003, or what I considered a giant bag of money, $15,000 from Comedy Central. And I didn't have to pay out any, I didn't have an agent. I didn't have a manager. I paid taxes, like $3,000 in taxes. So I had $12,000, and I was like, "Where am I going to go?" I was like, "I'm going to go to Bali." I was going to go to Indonesia, and then there were terrorists, and they shot a bunch of people, and I was like, "Oh, all right, I'm going to go to Egypt and look at the pyramids." They lined a bunch of people up and murdered them, and I was like, I want to, and I was like, I'm unwilling to pick a third place because now I'm jinxing things. And so I spent 2 months in New York.
Wow.
And I stayed in a 1-bedroom apartment with my friend Jenny Bergman, slept on her floor, and and did sets and reminded
Cool.
New York City that I existed.
Yeah.
And so it was an investment back into my career. But it was not like if you had $12,000, you might take 5 or 6 of it and throw it in your retirement account.
Emergency fund, yeah.
Emergency
I'm diverting
something.
funds to an emergency fund.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
I never did any of that.
Well, I didn't either till I had a kid.
See?
And then it's a bottomless, like, I remember when my son...
And when did you have your kid?
41.
So before that, did you have anything?
Okay, I did buy the apartment in New York.
Okay.
But again, it was incredibly cheap.
You fell into it, kind of?
Wait,
you had the job at Tough Crowd.
Had the job at Tough Crowd.
Which was steady work, but but it's not a guild job.
$1,800 a week.
Okay.
No, not guild.
But not guild.
No health insurance.
No
Right.
health insurance, but $1,800 a week.
Yes.
That's real money.
Especially
Jesus.
back then.
Yeah.
And minimal down payment, $9,000 down payment.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I'm telling you. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they still build these places. If you can get on a list, check out nyc.gov, whatever the housing thing is. They build
Maybe you can get it.
They're a lot more popular now. But anyway. So yeah, that was accidental. That was like Tom and Carrie Louise had bought one of those, and I didn't. I just kept. It's so hard to find an apartment in New York City. You have to go to brokers. You have to pay so much money. You have to pay them a month's rent. It's such a fucking pain in the ass. And I was no longer living with my boyfriend, the Russian,
Right.
who had connections to Russian
right.
mafia run 1 bedrooms for $500.
I like that you're whispering into the mic.
Jackie, we paid $540. That means I paid $275.
Wow.
$543 for a giant studio with a balcony on the Upper West Side.
Wow.
Okay. You know what? That's gone. Guess what? It's gone. And so I'm like, this is
My apartment here was $450 a month, off-street parking, 1 bedroom.
Oh God.
We
had a parking spot underneath the building.
Oh my God, that's
it was
bananas.
unbelievable.
On the Upper West
So
Side.
then I'm like, okay.
Kyle's like, I'm living with my parents. Shut the fuck up.
But that I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be a homeowner now. I'm like, this sounds like it's probably going to be cheaper, and then maybe if I needed a roommate, I could get a roommate, and then I had one who never paid rent, and then and then the baby came, right? And I remember like being like, I don't know how much money I need for a baby, and
When started socking it away then.
no, I mean I had $16,000 saved up, and I'm like, that's good for a year. No. So anyway, that was like a real, I have to
Get your shit together.
serious. I have to get another writing job, and I have to get one really fast.
For real. Yeah.
Yes.
And because what I did was, because Andy was so responsible, I was like, oh, this is what I should have been doing for the last 20 years.
Right.
And so that's what I think we just need, like everybody, you just need to get a jump start. Someone has to show you what you should have been doing. And comedy is not that job.
No.
Comedy is not the job that says, oh, by the way, you're going to want to sock away a prudent reserve.
But there are some comics who have that knowledge, like someone like maybe Al Madrigal or somebody like that, where they were raised by people that
Al Madrigal had a pile of money.
Right, but
He always had a
knew
pile
what
of
to
money.
do with it. But there's other people that were sort of raised by, not that you and I were raised by wolves, but I was never told shit. And I guess my dad was always like, my dad always wanted me to move back home with him.
That was his plan.
Yes. And plus they were always worried about money. So it wasn't like you wouldn't go to them for money advice.
You wouldn't go to my parents for money. because they didn't have any.
Right. Yeah,
or if they
same.
did, they were hiding it. But the weird thing is they weren't hiding it. They didn't have any. But the comics that I've always noticed are good.
Education about that stuff.
Yeah, but the comics that I know that are good with money from the get-go had money. That's what they didn't have to worry about money because they had it. And so and they didn't have to learn how to deal with it because there was always going to be more of it. Because they came from a giant fucking Scrooge McDuck pile of money.
Do you, I always felt like, I'm going to be really famous one day, so I don't have to worry about money. Even though I had no money for a long time.
Weirdly enough, I always thought, I'm never going to be famous, so I'm going to work until I die. I don't have to worry about money.
We were both right.
We are both.
No, you were right about me. But either way, we don't have to worry about money because we're going to work all the time.
Right. I mean, there's no...
No, but I mean, there's like I wish comics would go to some kind of class, like a money class, because there's
a money class for football players.
There should be one for comics.
For NFL football.
There should be one for
rookies.
comics, because you have to think about when you get older. Are you going to be able to be Lisa Lampanelli and walk away with a lot of money, or are you going to be us, kind of still hustling, or are you somebody else who wants to be hustling but can't for whatever reasons can't get any traction? What are you going to do? And you're, unless you die, you're going to be one of those archetypes, one of those
you'll be working
people one day.
You'll be working at something. You'll be trying to figure something out, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, I don't even, and it's so fucking hard to get stage time and get paid for it now anyway. The fact that you'd be thinking of saving it as opposed to just fucking paying off your rent that month is a ridiculous thing to think about, I guess.
Okay. Well, I went and got, yes, I'm fabulously wealthy. I went and got my hair blown out a couple of weeks ago.
Looked great.
Looked great. Here's, so the lady blowing out my hair.
Tax write-off.
Well, that's what Danielle says, Perez. But
it is.
So I have to double check, but I want it to be.
Dude.
It is. Okay.
I have an accountant. This hair is, I just wrote some more stuff off today.
Okay. So, the woman blowing out my hair at Dry Bar, was talking to the other woman blowing out the lady next to her's hair at Dry Bar. And she said, they were talking about the date, and it was almost the 1st. It was like the day before New Year's, I think, is when this actually happened. And the other woman goes, well, it's rent's almost due. And the woman blowing my hair out goes, when is it due? And she said, the 1st. It's always due on the 1st. And she goes, wait, every month on the 1st it's due? And I turned around and I said, what's happening? How do you not know that rent is due every time on the 1st? And she was like, oh, I just moved out from my parents for the first time ever. Wow. And I was like, oh, well then she's like, I moved in with my boyfriend. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be the 1st. And then
it could also be, the day you move in. Too.
I didn't want to. You don't want to. I didn't want to muddy the waters. I wanted her to be ready on the 1st.
Right. Here's the thing, though. When you start a comedy career, you have to maintain some delusion that you're going to be successful at it, and that also makes
my first delusion was that I was going to successfully make people laugh.
Well, but maintain going. I can be Amy Schumer. I can be Ali Wong. Your brain thinking that is also why it's really hard for your brain to go, I should put 10% away, because you know what I mean. It's you have one or the other.
If you have that, well, I'm going to hit the bigs. I don't need to plan.
But I think a lot of comics. I don't know. That's the way I was, and I think a lot of people were.
That's how
because you need that delusion to keep going up every night because it's so fucking awful and so hard.
Right. My delusion was literally, I have to figure out how to make everyone in this fucking room laugh. And I did a line the other night, and the last show last night, there was a couple about our age, maybe a little older, black couple. And I do the joke about being a middle-aged white lady and the hashtag thing. And the lady was taking a sip, and I said the hashtag line and spit-taked it. And then she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I said, actually, that joke was specifically written for you. So, but the fact that I can make what I want to do is I want to make everyone laugh, which is why
Yeah.
the guy with his arms folded can still fuck with my mind.
Sure, of course.
And I don't want that guy to fuck with my mind. I'm like, no, there's 219 people who love you.
Yeah.
Why is this guy the one you're focused on? Don't do it. And most of the time I have trained myself to ignore that guy.
Are we done?
Wow.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.